Alright, well, this is review number 2, after Jonathan crashed my crack balls review. This one, yeah, we actually have been planning. So I got a big stash of weird stuff at the international market in South Tacoma the other day. Jonathan's a very purpley guy.
I like purple.
He wanted to try these in person. Alright, so we're going to open these up first and try them out. These are Pillows, UBE-FILLED crackers. I did not know until last night that my culinary cousin Daniel, his brother, notified me that UBE is a type of sweet potato-like purple plant.
Ube. So
Ube.
Like ube bowl.
Yeah.
Except ube.
Yeah, so ube. Yeah, I didn't even know that. You know, so that's cool. I didn't know there was a purple potato out there. Let's see if these are any good. It's got sugar, rice, wheat, palm oil, milk powder, lactose powder, maltodextrin, non-dairy creamer, and then there's like 15 different things in the non-dairy creamer that I'm not going to read. Salt, artificial flavors, soy, lecithin. Then there's a bunch of dyes. Well, there shouldn't be any food dyes in this if it's got actual ube. Radish extract.
Is ube actually purple? Let me look at it.
Yes.
It is?
Radish extract and TBHQ. There's not even any ube in this. They're ube flavor. It says UBE-FILLED.
It is purple.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. If they call them ube crackers, here, work your magic on this because I don't want to use my teeth to open this.
It's an off-white color and vibrant purple inside. Here, I got you.
I know why you're doing this because you're forcing me to. You're gonna force me to edit the video down. You're gonna be like me, like putzing around with the bag and looking stuff up on my phone.
Let's look at. See what they look like. Whoa.
They kind of look like charcoal briquettes.
Here, there's your thing right there. Just like look at it, like. There you go.
All right,
we did it. All right,
thumbnail. Let's try it.
That's the word I was looking for. Mm.
Whoa, it's got like cream in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like a charcoal briquette crossed with a piece of frosted wheat. And then when you try it, it does kind of taste like cereal.
I was gonna say
with cream in the middle, with a creamy filling.
So there's this new trend I found of cereal because I like really weird cereals, and they're trying to repackage cereal in all sorts of ways. Mostly it's like marshmallows with everything, right? But they have a new thing where I think I don't know if it's called Pillows, but it'll be like Trix, but it's shaped like this and has cream in the middle of it. And they have the same for Cinnamon Toast Crunch and then one of the other ones. So this is basically what that is, if you have any idea of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, this is another product of the Philippines too. I was going to throw that in. So, I don't know. They know how to do good cereal type cream-filled purple crackers. Sure.
Let's see what the middle looks like.
Oh yeah, that's good.
It's like a lavender sort of color, if it'll focus.
I'm just a little bit disappointed that they don't have actual ube in there. Now they didn't get the they didn't get the purple coloring from anything natural. It was just a bunch of like fake stuff, a bunch of food dyes that they put in there. They've got like 2 red food dyes and a blue food dye in there too to get the purpley effect.
This is false advertising.
Yeah.
What would you give it out of 10?
Well, I thought they were really tasty, so I'm going to give them like a 7.5. 7 or 7.5. That's a great like snacking cracker. Nice and sweet.
It's higher than your score for Antichrist.
That is true, which we will discuss in a minute. Let's try this.
Oh,
Let's try this other one. All right. AJI kimchi is the other thing we're going to try. I don't know how this differentiates itself from Korean kimchi because this is Japanese kimchi. And it looks like there's like bamboo shoots or something in there. So
I do love kimchi. I try to eat it every day.
Oh, okay. So this has I think this has the daikon radish. That's what it says: radish, water, cucumber, and then a bunch of other shit. But I think what I was saying initially were bamboo shoots. I think they're little pieces of pickled daikon radish, which Korean kimchi doesn't have that in it. Korean kimchi has that's cabbage, right?
Yes.
It's pickled cabbage. Yeah. So this is Japanese style. Here, I'm just gonna put it. Yeah. Oh. I mean, that looks kind of like somebody just like a watery puke, but I'm sure it tastes good.
Someone had too many like pineapple mojitos. Yeah. I'll just try some of yours.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess I need a green thing. Here, there. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Yeah, what is the green thing? Here, I'm gonna start with the green thing. I don't know what that is.
Let's observe. What could it be?
Mmm.
It's pickled. In fish sauce.
Well, these are radish, I think. Either radish or cucumber.
No, it is pickled in.
Oh,
Yeah.
pickled. Oh, you mean like what's in the brine?
Yeah.
Well, whatever it is, it's not spicy. It is salty.
It's very fish saucy.
So it's got soybean protein, corn syrup, garlic, MSG, salt, sugar, gochujang, which is corn, wheat, soybean, salt, red pepper, tapioca, rice, sardine. There's the fishy part. Potato starch, yeast, sugar cane water. There's fish sauce, which is made of mackerel, pollock, and salt and ethyl alcohol. Red pepper, lactic acid, vinegar, citric acid, acetic acid, ascorbic acid, and then a bunch of like colorations and preservatives.
I'm looking very J.J. Abrams right now.
Contains wheat, soybeans, and fish. And yes, it is fishy, but I think it's really nice.
It's okay. Yeah, I like it.
I like stuff like that.
It's
I
fine.
never mind fishy stuff. Japanese fishy stuff, I can take it. Now, would I go as so far as to drink the brine right off the plate?
No.
Actually, yes. Let's do it.
It's that good.
Just kind of like tastes like eating it's like eating like cold hot sour soup kind of. Which I
Yeah.
like. That's
I don't
kind of what
know.
I'm getting from that.
Honestly, I just like my normal kimchi that I get from the store. I don't know.
Now, should
Like
we pause?
regular Korean
Well,
kimchi.
oh, it's yeah. I like it. It is very different from Korean kimchi. There's a few parallels, like the pickliness of it and
It would be
kind of
good.
fishiness. But
Yeah, it would be good to throw in like maybe not a stir fry, but some sort of like noodle thing, like a noodle experiment. You could throw that in there. It'd be good.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I might do. I
Might do that later. You never know.
Mm-hmm. We could also like just puree it and like make some kind of weird hot sauce with it.
I should just make an experiment with the crack balls, the pillows, and then the kimchi. See what happens.
I don't see how in what like palatable way would the pillows like factor into a combination of the crack balls and the kimchi.
I mean, it's a potato, right?
Yeah, but it's like sugary and creamy, and then this is vinegary and fishy.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. Maybe it'd work.
sugar,
You never know
sugariness
until you
and
try.
creaminess and vinegary.
Here, I'll try both at once. Here.
Oh god. Oh my god.
Let's see. So we got the pillow. Then we got the bamboo shoot stuff. Okay. So we got these two going on.
I'm watching your facial expression carefully.
The pillows kind of just take over.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow. They take over something that's pickly and fishy.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe I didn't eat enough of it.
It's a powerful snack. All right. Well, I'm gonna give these. I like these. I'm gonna give these a 7 out of 10. Pretty good. Also better than Antichrist. I might bump my rating up a little bit. Maybe you can persuade me when we talk about it.
I can. I always do.
All right.
I was like, Graham, that movie wasn't too good. And then we talk about it, and by then you're like, you're right. It's more like a 6. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I've never been
Okay.
able to convince you to raise your rating on something, but you can convince
Never?
me to do it. Well, not often. It's not.
Hmm.
Well, because like you're very
Trying to remember.
contemplative while you watch movies, so I feel like halfway through most movies that we watch, you already know what rating you're going to give it. And so it would take like an incredible amount of like taking you outside of the
True.
frame of mind you're in to move you towards a higher rating or a lower one.
To be fair, I'm at the point where I can look at a movie poster and just guess like what I would think of it. I've seen too many movies. Anyway.
Well, anyways, so I saw Lars von Trier's Antichrist with Willem Dafoe and Charlotte Gainsbourg for the first time last night. It's a movie that I've consciously avoided for a long time.
Wait,
Just
why?
because I don't really like any of Lars von Trier's other movies that I've seen. I did not like Dogville. I didn't particularly like Melancholia, although there were like the sequence where the world ends with like the Wagner playing was awesome. Like they're like the thing is like the von Trier stuff I've seen. There's specific moments that are really impressive and where he like distinguishes himself as an artful filmmaker, but then there's like other stuff that just bothers me. And we were talking about this last night, how like he has a very, very singular and unique vision.
Yeah,
That's
like
kind
all
of
of his
like-
movies only could be made by Lars von Trier. Like
Yeah.
for better or for worse, because like I didn't like Nymphomaniac.
Have you ever watched Kingdom? Did you ever watch
I haven't seen
Kingdom?
Kingdom. I haven't seen. Was it Amongst the Waves or what is that one? Or the Waves one? I have not seen. I've seen. What have I seen? I watched
Breaking
part
the
of
Waves?
Breaking the Waves. Yeah.
That's Lars von Trier? I didn't
Yeah,
know
I think
that.
so. Maybe I'm wrong.
And then there's The House That Jack Built.
I like that one. I don't remember much of it, but I liked it. Dogville, I watched half of it and fell asleep and never restarted it. I was kind of taken aback by the style of it. I was like, okay, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed Melancholia, and
oh, and I have to throw in before we talk about Antichrist, Nymphomaniacs Parts 1 and 2 were an absolute slog to get through. Despite the fact that it's an incredibly sleazy and salacious film that's filled with graphic sex, it was fucking boring.
enjoyed aspects of it, but like some of it was just like ridiculous. Like especially the ending. The ending, okay, once you get to the ending, it's like that's it. It doesn't even make sense. Like the characters make a decision that doesn't even like make sense with what's been going on so far.
Oh.
It's I don't know. But Antichrist has, for a long time at least, been my favorite Lars von Trier film.
And I'm glad
there's so much to pick apart about it. It's very, you were kind of mentioning it was like it's naturalistic in a way, but also very dreamlike, which I really enjoyed about the film.
I do like that.
Yeah.
I mean, because like it's probably, I'm sure it's the type of film that's going to reward a second viewing. Because, like, honestly, there was a large part of the film that felt repetitive to me, where I'm just like, it's just these two people, like, meandering around the woods, like, doing weird shit. Like, it's like, I can watch that for maybe, like, half an hour, but, like, I don't know, this is starting to get a little bit dreary. But I do like the way that as the movie goes on, he starts to bring in increasingly bizarre imagery into it.
Yes, chaos.
Like there's this kind of
animals,
there's this kind of relative normality when they first get to the woods, but there's obviously something off from the beginning. But then he sees like he sees the doe with like the dead like fawn fetus like hanging out of it. And you were talking about there's certain sequences where it goes into slow motion and there's this very odd like stark lighting.
Yeah, it has like very stark lighting, and then but like the lighting around that is like very soft, which I kind of enjoyed. Almost as if I don't know, they did something.
And I was gonna say the lighting
like that. I don't know, like right now, like if it was like this, and then like the soft lighting around. I don't know. It was very dreamlike, which I really loved about it. I love the way it looked.
We had a really pointless and contentious exchange about whether or not the lighting that Von Trier was using was reminiscent of Baroque painting. And I was like, well, there's not really a Baroque style of painting. It's actually post-Renaissance or neoclassical, and it was really stupid. But I was also going to say, so I will agree with you, though.
There's certain paintings from that period that I pointed out that reminded me of the cinematography in it.
We can meet on this. We can agree on this point, which is number one. It is beautifully shot and very like visually, it's very well crafted. The lighting is excellent. I was also going to say the soundtrack is very minimal, but it's used really effectively. You get this kind of like dissonant rumbles. Yeah. Well, they use in the movie is like bookended by this like beautiful aria, but then like in the middle of the movie, there's kind of these like. Kind of like low rumbling, kind of dissonant, almost like quasi-industrial like noises that come in and that signify that something's off.
No, it sets the tone really well. Like it kind of leaves you on edge for what happens later in the film.
Well, and it's used.
A lot of it's very allegorical. Like it's very, like a lot of it is not. How do I put it? A lot of it is up to interpretation. Like the scene where she's hearing the baby cry and she's like searching around for it and she'll see it, but then she'll hear it somewhere else. Like I don't know. I thought it was a good meditation on grief, and
it's also a biblical allegory. Like
Genesis
you pointed out that Willem Dafoe and Charlotte Gainsbourg, the parents whose child was killed, they kind of represent Adam and Eve. But there's also a lot of like who's the guy? Who's that like Renaissance painter who painted like the huge like hellscapes? I don't know if it was Bruegel or it was another guy.
I don't know. I might have maybe heard about that in my art history course.
I hate it. Oh my god. I it's like right on the tip of my tongue and I can't. But any of you who know anything about art history, there was like an early Renaissance painter and he did these like gigantic hellscapes where there would just be all these demons running around torturing people. You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
right?
I can picture what you're talking about.
I think one of them's called The Triumph of Death. I can't remember if that was Bruegel or the other guy, but there was a lot of imagery, especially towards the end of the film, that evoked like the hell imagery in those Renaissance paintings.
For sure.
So like I said, like in terms of imagery and the use of the soundtrack and the lighting, all of that was extremely commendable and admirable. I just think I had a problem with maybe the pacing a little bit. I would also say that the performances are absolutely magnificent. Like, these are
Willem Dafoe and Charlotte Gainsbourg, is that her name?
Yeah, these are both very talented actors.
Yeah.
A very talented actor and a very talented actress who have been in many great films and given many great performances. But I would venture to say, based on everything I've seen from either of these, that these are the best performances they ever gave.
Willem Dafoe? I don't know. The Lighthouse was pretty awesome.
Yes, he was really great in
good
that. But he's excellent in this too. And Charlotte Gainsbourg is so utterly and absolutely convincing at portraying a grief-induced meltdown.
Yeah, just being like stuck in the state of psychosis.
Yeah,
like,
in her
trauma.
state of
really
like
great.
increasing like psychosis and desperation, and
I
just
really-
like the scene where she's just running around like screaming for her husband when he's like hiding in the little cave was chilling.
Yeah, like the scene leading up to that was chilling too. The way she like.
Right. But I felt
I don't wanna spoil
genuine.
it
I
too
felt
much,
genuine fear for his character when she was doing that.
For sure.
I was like, because this actress is giving a complete, utterly believable performance. I feel like I'm watching an actual person who's on the verge of a melt. I'm not going to reference specific people, but I have witnessed meltdowns that are similar to that, and it was very authentic how it was portrayed.
For sure. There's a lot too about kind of like, I don't know, the relationship between like man and woman, like just the history of that, and like how men have tried to dominate women. I see that a lot in that movie, kind of control them and domineer their minds, right? Because Willem Dafoe's character plays like a therapist, but he kind of ends up being her therapist in a way, even though they're married, and trying to like help her through it. And the way he does it, I don't know, it seems like it's subtle yet harsh. I don't know, it's a way of like manipulation in a way, almost. I thought was really interesting, and her ultimate response to that was, I don't want to spoil too much, but I think that kind of goes into it a little further. I don't know, there's a lot to dig into it. I kind of looked up just really quick, because there's a lot about this movie. Because I asked like Antichrist movie meaning, just to kind of like see if there's anything maybe I missed, because again, it's been a while since I've seen it. The Genesis myth, retelling of Abraham's origins? What? I don't know what that is. Couples journey into the woods and arrival at Eden as a cinematic restaging of the myths of origins. A critique of the rational masculine mind, a depiction of, what's that?
Depiction of what? Where? Point to it.
Wait.
A depiction of Heideggerian angst. He was a German existentialist philosopher.
Not feeling at home in the world. Yeah, I can see that too. Commentary on the relationship between nature, demonic force, and the death of a child. Yeah, I mean, there's so much that's popping up, especially on like Reddit, of discussions about this movie.
Yeah,
there's some I got, but like I feel like my mind is just kind of scraping the surface. I would need to sit down with it again and like seriously watch it. So I was a little tired, but
I would say
there's a lot there.
I would also say like your ability to understand and appreciate this film is largely a lot of it is contingent on how well read you are.
See, that's
how well
the
do
thing
you know
is,
art, history, philosophy, the Bible, and literature?
And I know some of it, but I am no expert, so there's a lot, like, usually I don't search, like, movie meanings, but in this case, it's like, it kind of was, like, the Aronofsky film Mother, where there's, like, it goes into the Bible, like, hardcore, and, like, I know some about the Bible, but there's a lot there I needed to kind of research to understand, and to pick apart that film, which Mother is another film I love.
That is one other like possible critique that I something that I might have to phrase as a critique of it is that I do like some symbolism in my films, but there is a lot of symbolism. You are being assaulted with symbolism pretty much from beginning to end.
I like that though. It's visual storytelling, and I'd rather them do that.
Yeah, well, I know that that's Lars von Trier's style too. He loves his symbolism, but sometimes it feels just a little bit heavy-handed and aggressive to me, the way that he's like shoving symbolism in your face. But
maybe for another director, but like the way he handles it in his films, especially in Antichrist, I think it works really well. Like I feel like that's like the way he needs to explain a concept or information to the audience. It has to be through symbolism. I feel like a line of dialogue, like I'm trying to pick an example from Antichrist where they use symbolism where they should have just used a line of dialogue, and I really couldn't think of anything. Like, could you?
Yeah, no.
Like, it would just ruin the film completely if they did that.
No, and it isn't a very talky film. And there is dialogue in it, you know, to show the disintegrating relationship between the husband and wife. But you're right. I mean, it's more of a visual film.
Some of the dialogue is
it's driven
too.
by its visual symbolism. And I was going to say this about Lars von Trier. I think what he would say to anyone who potentially watch one of his movies is, you may love what I'm about to show you, or you may hate it, but what you're going to have is an experience that you're not going to forget.
Yeah, and that's what I like.
That's
like
why
when a director gives me his vision and his experience, even if it's as bad as someone like Derek Savage.
True.
Even if it's that bad, it still is commendable because it is 100% Derek Savage presenting something to me, which I think is fun. I don't know.
All right, well,
I give it like a 9. Love it. It's amazing. Worth watching over and over again to analyze it. And some really disturbing shit in that movie. It's really good.
Yes.
And I rarely say that.
I will say the talking animal stuff just seemed goofy and absurd to me. It didn't really do anything for me. But there was one shot towards the end where they show all the animals that have interacted with the main characters together awkwardly in the same frame at the end, which to me was kind of a wink to the audience. There's something.
It was the three beggars, right?
Oh, those were the 3 beggars.
Yeah, that was representative of that.
All right, I'm stupid. You know what? Because I'm stupid and overlooked that, fine. I'm gonna put my rating up. I gave it a 6 originally. I'm gonna bump it up to a 7.
It's as good as Alien Romulus, y'all. Actually, wait, it's worse. Did you give that an 8?
I gave Alien Romulus an 8.
I'll bring that one down.
That'll be the
I'll
next
bring that
review.
one down too. It's gonna be like an hour long.
All right, so I give it a 7. I give it a 9. Yes, I recommend seeing it. You have to be kind of an adventurous viewer, though. If you're creeped out by graphic depictions of violence being done to private parts of your body, don't watch this film. You don't. It's. Let's just say the special effects are quite realistic.
I'll put it this way: it's not the chainsaw scene from Terrifier 3. It's not that goofy. It's like, I don't want to say completely realistic, but it definitely is like, I wonder what it would look like if someone did this to themselves, and they do present that more realistically than like a Terrifier film. I'll put it that way.
You have to have patience for long stretches of dialogue-free art house imagery, and for graphic depictions of certain self-mutilatory acts.
See, there's so much to go into just with that scene too. That's kind of why, everyone focuses on that scene because it's shocking and insane. But the more you kind of think about it, and especially in terms of the Adam and Eve thing and men and women's relationships with each other and their sexuality, that's when it's kind of genius. I don't think it's just for shock value. I'll put it that way.
Honestly,
there is a meaning behind it.
Kind of the way that it was shot, and I have to watch it again and think about it more, but I actually don't even feel like Von Trier was trying to shock us. I don't think that he threw that in there for shock value. He did.
Just a criticism.
There was a reason that the things that he showed in that scene, actually they were 2 separate scenes, in which Willem Dafoe's junk and then after that Charlotte Gainsbourg's junk experienced varying levels of mutilation. But I didn't think. Honestly, in both of those scenes, I wasn't just thinking, oh, he just threw this in here for shock value.
No, it
fit in perfectly into what was going on in the film, to the point that their relationship had deteriorated to, and to the grief that they were failing to healthily cope with. It made sense what they did.
Mm-hmm. It also makes sense with certain actions that the Charlotte Gainsbourg character did before, where she was using sexuality to kind of get over the death of their son, and he kept trying to stop her so she would process it healthily. And so it's kind of almost like a response to that, right? In a way, too. Also, maybe, as a relationship deteriorates, so does, the intimacy of it as well. So you can see it as a representation of that too. But there's a lot of ways to go about it. Probably some that are more intelligent than what I'm saying now. But
yeah, I mean, it's almost like, it's almost like the characters, looked at their own genitalia and just felt that, after what we have done, we don't deserve to use these for our own pleasure anymore.
You can see it as that too.
We've lost the right to enjoy sexual pleasure and intimacy. I think we
watch
should
it.
probably, but anyways,
We should wrap it up.
We should wrap it up. And I was going to say the name of the painter who did the hellscapes that the imagery in this movie evokes that I was thinking of is Hieronymus Bosch.
Okay.
You know that name, right?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, so Peter Bruegel and Hieronymus Bosch were two, like, well, one of them is like early Renaissance, the other's late Renaissance, I believe. But yeah, they both painted these like hellscapes with thousands of tortured figures in them, and there's some of that, especially towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'm going to sit on a 7 for now. He gave it a 9, and so I would say both of us can heartily recommend it. Right?
Is it the best movie that came out for me? Like, is it the best movie that came out that year? Let me see.
2009.
Really quick, 2009. Do I have
The
a
only
list
other
for
one I can
2000?
think of from 2009 is Zombieland, which is a 5 probably.
Let's see. Inglourious Bastards, Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh,
Dog
Inglourious
Tooth.
Bastards was 2000. Yeah, I like Inglourious Bastards better.
A Serious Man is great. Enter the Void, Black Dynamite, of course.
I
Up
never
in the
saw
Air,
Enter the Void.
A
That's-
Single Man.
that's Gaspar Noé,
Hunger.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Enter the Void is an experience.
Isn't
That's
it another one of? It's
those.
kind of like Climax, isn't it? In that it's like a drug trip, like filmed, right? Isn't it supposed to be like a
It's
hallucinatory thing?
different. Because Climax just kind of presents people acting under the influence of drugs, but like kind of through cinematography, you sort of feel like you're also on it. Enter the Void is
the
a
hallucination.
trip. Like it's just like you're basically the soul of this dead drug dealer who flies around looking at the past and present. Like it's kind of like, and there's a lot of like 2001 like through the wormhole or black hole kind of energy.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some. It's a LSD trip.
That sounds
They're-
very,
they're-
very
it's really
different. That sounds very, very different from I Stand Alone and Irreversible, which are the other
It
two
is.
Gaspar Noé movies I've seen.
There's some disturbing shit in that movie too. Like it,
Sure.
like there's a moment that stuck with me like just as much as the scene from Irreversible. So yeah, Climax is, I love Climax. It's one of my favorite like of all time, and it's effective in a different way than Enter the Void. But okay, I don't know where I would rank Antichrist with these movies, but it would be up there.
It's up
For
there.
sure.
I liked Fantastic Mr. Fox too, and I don't like Wes Anderson,
that's
but
his best
that
movie,
was like,
I
yeah,
think.
that one was pretty good, and I did like Inglourious Bastards
Mhm.
more than I liked Antichrist, because Inglourious Bastards is an 8 for me.
Well, that's just like a lot of fun. Like it's just like great dialogue and
Yeah, I
great
guess if
scenes.
you're looking at like serious art films from that year, probably it would be that against Enter the Void, right?
Yeah, I mean, Inglourious Bastards is also kind of an art film. In that
It
people
is.
sit around and talk.
It's probably Tarantino's most art house
Mhm.
film.
I would say so.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
Well, we've gone on for 27 minutes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No one's gonna watch this.
Also,
It's
I'm just
okay.
worried because it's going to take a fuck ton of time to upload, but whatever.
Edit it down.
I will.
Alright, y'all.
All right.